This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is Tru Heel Heat. And I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
It's Saturday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat. AEW is introducing a new Saturday show based around CM Punk, worth $52 million per year. And there's going to be a brand split of the rosters. What does that mean for the Elite's contracts, including Hangman Adam Page, who is contract negotiation? Speaking of contracts, you got Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre with WWE. Their contracts are coming up. We got a slate of shows from this past week. Plus, we got Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom with Mercedes Moné versus Mayu Iwatani tomorrow morning. There is so much to discuss, and the core trio is back together. This is Tru Heel Heat 222. Let's get to it. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 222, Saturday night's main Punk event, discussing the latest wrestling news, including a new Saturday show for AEW based around CM Punk, worth $52 million a year. It means that we might get a roster split for AEW. And what does that mean for current contract negotiations for not just the Elite, but also Hangman Adam Page, the contract status of Becky Lynch and Drew McIntyre, recap of this week in wrestling with AEW Dynamite, WWE Smackdown, Raw, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Collision Weekend. You had AAA, Triple Mania, Monterrey, Impact Rebellion, Impact on AXS TV, 3 shows from GCW, ROH TV, preview and predictions for tomorrow's Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom, plus more. So, of course, I am here. She is back with us. It is freshly off of her birthday. The hair looking good. The hair all did. You got the chaperone of the wrestling club herself, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, people, for that. Well, SP, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, everybody. Hello. I hope everyone had a great 420 day. What's today? The 22nd. Happy Saturday. Good morning, peeps. Let's get some wrestling. Didn't see much, but let's get it popping.
And of course, he is back with us for his obligatory contract. In his contract, it was made. He has to make 1 appearance per month. So he chose this week for the month of April. He is the resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, the candle maker, the president of Titan Nation, Top Guy JJ.
This is already getting harder by the month. I'm letting y'all know that right. This is already getting harder.
Harder by the month. How?
First off, I hope you had a hell of a birthday weekend because we ain't getting no younger, so we got to make the most of these things. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing for mine because I'm hitting a milestone this year too. But
what, 60?
This is your month. Yeah. When you turn 60. You got to see if you could get people out of their social security homes. You got to see if you can get people, some extra, get that 1 month advance social security check so they could come through. Buy some extra prune juice. Get some raisins thrown in there. Get some extra vegetables at the party. That's what we're trying to do for number 60 this year. That's what we're trying to do for number 60. Y'all not invited because y'all a little too young.
But, shit. We're gonna miss the pinochle and everything. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. You gonna miss Golden Girls reruns and all of that stuff.
Sheesh, man. We don't get no love because we
right.
Because Krssy's in her late 20s. I'm in my 30s.
That's why you're a bunch of millennials.
Well, these things. Right.
Excuse me. All right.
You ain't know I was like fine wine, friend.
Nah, he just decided to add 20 years to my life,
No, welcome back, Top Guy JJ. Welcome back, Miss Krssi Love, and welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday morning cookout. We appreciate y'all for joining us every single Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. We were on CP time this week, so we're a little minutes late, but we're still here. We appreciate y'all. Show your appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. I believe we're just 60 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. So help us push that number. Maybe we can achieve that this weekend with we got plenty of more content coming up for this weekend. Romeo is doing a best of Backlash watch along tomorrow, so maybe we can hit that next milestone this weekend. Help us out. Tell a friend to subscribe and join us here every Saturday on the Flagship Podcast, as only we do here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to hear from all of you. This is an interactive podcast, so we'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to everything that we do here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, you could do that with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters, and we will highlight your comment on screen. We got Alan Banky in the chat who says, "What's up, Tru Heel family?" We also got Dolores saying, "Hey, everyone." We got
good morning.
Roger Lovejoy saying, "Hello, Krssi Love. Bring that energy in the morning."
Good morning. Okay, hello, Roger.
There you go.
No pressure.
Right.
We're chopped liver over here. We're chopped liver, apparently. We also got here Ace in the chat with us who says, "Good morning, everyone. How is y'all day going so far?" How's y'all day going?
It's going. It's going to be a long day, so yeah.
Isn't it always?
When you're getting ready for the show and shit, since I only do this once a month, and as I'm getting ready, right? And you take it, taking that good shower, and then you hear songs come on like back to back to back, and you don't want to get out. That's exactly what happened this morning. I was just, this is much. That shower singing was on level 15 this morning. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear you're like, you always got that track when you shower, and it's like, I could get out now. I it's cool. This song is kind of mid, but nah, this was like banger after banger after banger. Kind of like my boy Sheamus.
There you go. Top Guy JJ giving you the play-by-play on his shower this morning. You get that type of content here on the Tru Heel Heat Flagship Podcast.
I'm never gonna get the whole show on the rails. Like the fuck.
We got Negro Buck saying Saturday morning. You know what that means. Time for some THH, baby. The Holy Trinity is back. Much love to y'all. Much love to the Negro Buck who joined the fellas over on Blunt Impact celebrating 420. And he says happy 422 to my fellow pot heels because
it's still parties going on.
Yes, all weekend long.
Nobody
Bro,
said it to be on Thursday.
this-
Like they doing it all weekend.
I don't. You
They
know,
started on
I don't
Thursday.
understand when potheads and pot heels say happy for this, motherfucker. Happy
It's every day.
5-1. Every day is a pot heels day. Like they ain't
Every
a
day.
day alive. If you ain't a weed smoker, you ain't getting hot.
Hey, I've been going strong. I'm going on nearly
Especially
4
now
months.
that it's legal.
Really? Wow.
I'm nearly gone 4 months because I've been with these kids. And
Well,
potty
see,
training is a bit.
you see, you're different. You're in a kids detox. You're not. This is not about will. This is about what needs to be done.
Kids detox. That's the new. Damn, we should have changed. We got to change the title. Kids detox. Let's
And congrats
go.
to you, SP. You got to interview like your favorite, like one of your favorites from the challenge, like the king himself. Yo, good for you. Shout out to you, friend.
The Godfather.
Yo, big things,
the
dog.
Godfather
Look
of the
at you.
challenge.
You
Mark
done
Long.
reenact that whole childhood, son. Like, yo, we grew up together, yo.
Like when I showed my sister that, my sister popped for it. My sister was like, "Oh my god, I remember him from Road Rules season 1." I was like, yeah. This is why I knew to message my sister, because I was like, yeah, I knew you would be in tune with the old school MTV reality shows.
Yeah,
Real
man.
World, Road Rules. That she's the one that brought me into the reality television.
And now
spirit.
he
So,
going to
yeah.
wrestling shows and whatnot. Like he in front row, like he front and center at the big shows.
And he has a match coming out with Matt Cardona. That's how we scored the interview, to promote his matchup with Matt Cardona. It's going to be his
literally gonna
fourth
ask
match.
you, like, how the hell did this even happen?
Nice.
Well, basically, they do a challenge podcast with Derek, who's a 3-time challenge champion, and his
okay.
co-host Scott basically put the post like, "Oh, we're gonna have Mark Long on the show where he's got the big matchup coming up." So I just shot my shot. I put in the comments. I was like, we do a reality television podcast on a wrestling channel. It's one of the biggest platforms, Fightful. So we would love to have Mark on and promote it. And then he contacted, our co-host Cher, who goes to a lot of the Challenge Mania stuff, and she knows Scott. So
you gotta know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
He was like, oh, is this for real? And she was like, yeah. And then Jeremy emailed it. I was like, it was the perfect Los Angeles Lakers trio. I shot the shots like LeBron. We had Cher as Jeannie Buss as the head of everything, and then Jeremy did the emails as Rob Pelinka. That's how it works.
I mean, thank God you weren't like typical LeBron and fucking passing shit up all the time.
Hey, not gonna do that tonight, because we gotta put that damn cocky son of a bitch Dylan Brooks in his place tonight. LeBron dropping 40.
Listen, I ain't even an LA fan or a West Coast fan in general, and I hate that motherfucker.
Who doesn't? He's the biggest. He's one of the biggest heels in NBA.
Good. He ain't even good.
It's like what Kobe used to go through. Ruben Patterson, remember him from the Portland Trailblazers, who used to talk trash to Kobe? Like LeBron just going, and LeBron's been through it before. Remember Deshaun Stevenson in the Washington Wizards days? Like he had to learn, and now Dylan Brooks gonna have to learn.
Damn, you gonna learn today?
He gonna learn today.
He's fucking bums trying to. You know what? It's working though, because his name is getting talked about. Yo, mind you, this is a guy that averages 10 points a game. So that means this guy's a fucking scrub. All right? All right? So the
scrubs have the biggest ego. What do you mean? They gotta make sure they gotta talk like they got.
Krssi,
I'm just telling you, they have the biggest
nerve to say, I don't respect him until he gives me 40. This motherfucker is talking about the NBA's all-time leading scorer and a 10-point.
You know why he did this, right? Because he's a troll and get people to talk about him. So this is working.
And here we are.
You guys are feeding into it.
It's working.
It's working. That's what trolls do. That's what people. Again, they have to be there. Look at what's the Ball's guy father's name? What's his name? Lorenzo Ball. What? He's one of the biggest. The father. He's one of the biggest coin balls. But yet everyone talks about him and his big head children. But no, look at all of them, and they don't all.
A couple of his kids could play.
They can. You're right. Some of them can play.
So but
they come from the biggest cornball of them all.
Beat that nigga's ass. LaMelo
Beat that
Ball. We got Rickety in the chat saying good morning, Tru Heel Heat. We got Negro Buck saying, I feel you, top guy. It always happens when you actually got somewhere to be. Talking about his shower. We got Frantic World saying SP3 needs to do an interview with the GOAT CT. Well, if you follow CT on social media, he's a little busy right now. He's dealing with a divorce and yeah, it's getting a little sticky there, but Negro Buck saying, yes, Mark Long is one of the GOATs. Indeed. That interview is going to be dropping on Fightful Overbook coming up this week, I believe, on Monday, so look out for that. And we appreciate all of y'all for joining us live, like we appreciate y'all supporting us here on the YouTube channel, across social media, and our Patreon. So we start things off with our Tru Heel Roll Call. Our Tru Heel Trinity coming in at number 3 once again is Stewie Palmer, number 2 Alan Weinstein, and number 1 the Negro Buck Nick Jackson. Patreon backers, you got Nick Jackson, you got ALW, you got Vala B, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, you my boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve, Antoine, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John aka Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Queen Monet, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Beep Boop, Marcus Ryan, Justin Rich, the Mama Buck, Jennifer Jackson, and Alan Banky. Thank you so much for supporting us at patreon.com.
Does she drive a minivan like Sue?
She should. She should. And she should drop off the pot heels. Negro Buck is Trent. Ness is Chucky T, and Chris G is Orange Cassidy.
Yep.
There you go.
I love it.
It works. But let's get into what we missed this week. We'll start off things with AEW Dynamite that had some big competition in the ratings this week with the NBA playoffs off and running. So they only did 830,000 viewers up against the Laker game, which not that bad, not that much of a fall from last week. But it was a very weird episode, I would say. This show featured a very weird opening segment with a promo exchange between the 3 of the 4 pillars, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara, which basically made the people that are most likable in Jungle Boy and Darby Allin unlikable, and made Sammy, who is unlikable, likable. I don't get it, but
yeah,
it was thankfully
2 baby faces. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It was
Weird.
Thankfully interrupted by MJF, the AEW World Champion, to set up the 4 Pillars tournament with the first round of Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy that saw Guevara win via countout against Jungle Boy, thanks in large part to his new best friend, MJF, knocking Jungle Boy out with the Dynamite Diamond Ring and then celebrating the 2 best friends. They even had a cat play date, if you saw their social media, where their cats were playing with each other via FaceTime. Then you also had in her hometown of Pittsburgh, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, teaming up with AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter.
That's why they won. Okay.
To defeat the Outcast of Tony Storm and Ruby Soho in a good tag team.
Looking like Damage Control right now.
No, not really. They actually won up until this week.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Just saying.
And they got their heat back immediately on the show, as later in the show, Chris Jericho confronted Adam Cole in an excellent angle that saw Britt Baker make the save for Cole after he was jumped by the Jericho Appreciation Society, with Britt slapping Chris Jericho. But then she was jumped by the Outcasts of Saraya, Ruby Soho, and Tony Storm, while Adam Cole was handcuffed to the ring ropes, and Saraya pounded and caned Britt Baker with the Singapore King, the kendo stick, while Cole was forced to watch. We had Wardlow now with Glock Anderson in his corner. He pulled off the victory over Powerhouse Hobbs to win the TNT Championship in a fun hoss fight. After the matchup, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out to set up a new challenger for the TNT Championship. You had Switchblade Jay White's in-ring AEW Dynamite debut as he defeated Komander in a great clash of styles. Post-match, the Bullet Club Gold attacked Shawn Spears at ringside, leading to Ricky Starks making the save as the Bullet Club Gold bailed out after Absolute made the save here. You also had the Elite call out the Blackpool Combat Club Club, leading to a huge brawl between the two factions, with the BCC isolating Kenny Omega after taking out Matt and Nick, and Don Callis bringing out Konosuke Takeshita to make the save for the Elite as they stood tall this week, adding Takeshita to this great storyline that has been ongoing every single week. It was, I gave it a thumbs up this week, but it was undoubtedly a very weird episode of AEW Dynamite.
The placing of everything, that's why. Everything was all over the place.
Yeah, no, it was just some segments that I really loved. I think I told this to Top Guy JJ when we talked our pre-show meeting. I told him that I was like, there was segments I really loved from Dynamite, and then there was segments I really hated from Dynamite. I really hated the opening promo segment because why is Darby Allin being a dickhead? Why is Darby Allin being happy that he's getting a bye in this tournament? Why is Jungle Boy now this hand-picked entitled prick? And why is everybody like Sammy Guevara? I was so confused by that opening segment. I do like that they set up a match for later in the night because that doesn't happen often on AEW. I like Britt Baker getting the win. I like the Outcasts and Jericho Appreciation Society working together for that great angle with Cole and Baker, but it was just a mismatched show. Top Guy JJ, what did you think this week?
Let me keep it a buck, and I might be in the minority with some of this here. I think this whole tournament, this whole little angle is a complete waste of time, and it should be a fatal 4-way match at Double or Nothing. Case closed.
I would have preferred that. Yeah,
they've been talking about the 4 pillars of AEW for well over like a year and a half now, and now you have them in a tournament to make it a one-on-one match. Like, that is, like, to me, the dumbest angle of the championship they've had in a couple of years. Like, this is a complete waste of time. Like, so whoever's not in this picture, what are they going to do? Have a match against each other that no one's going to care about? Like, you want to make it 4 pillars. You got what is one of your biggest shows of the year. Put them all together in a fucking match and call it a day. Yeah. Build that shit up. Like, I just hate the entire angle that they're doing, which makes me hate this MJF and Sammy shit even more. Like well,
that's the point of that, at least.
Any of this.
Yeah, to get heat on them too, yes.
I don't like any of it. Like, I just don't. Like, I'm not a fan of any of it. It, to me, it's dumb. Like, it just, to me, leads to nothing. Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. Now that's some good TV. Now that's some good TV right there. Like, you ain't going wrong with all of that nucleus of so many different parts and so many different things happening. And when you know that eventuality when Hangman Adam Page joins alongside them and creates a type of War Games, blood and guts type of match, like, you know that shit is going to be wicked. Like, when that happens, that shit is gonna be must-see TV. I'm not feeling Adam Cole dealing with the curse of Chris Jericho. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Like, I immediately seen Adam Cole is gonna have to carry, like, it's like Jericho with this JAS shit is just literally like
annoying.
It's filling time. It's nothing interesting to me. And every time I see it, it's literally the same shit every single time he enters the ring and starts going back and forth with somebody. And the promo exchange was halfway decent. Like, it was okay. Like, I wasn't moved by any of it. Like, you know, it was okay. Like, but I like seeing that that pack of dogs, like what the Outcasts do. Like, that pack of dogs. I kind of like that.
That was actually different from what we've seen every single week with the Outcasts versus the homegrown stars, at least. So that's why I was happy with that segment.
Yeah, they kind of gave it a sense like a Baby Shield vibe. Like, they came out together.
Yeah,
like, they literally up together. Like, we about to beat this bitch ass. And that's exactly what happened. So, like,
coordinating colors. They keep wearing the green. They have to wear the black and green now. So it's now part of their aesthetics. So it's all about the look and the execution. And that's what's happening.
Yeah. And so, like there's parts, and I think when SP warned me about it, he was like, yeah, there's parts and I got exactly what he was talking about, because it was like, yo, some parts of this show was like, damn, this is really listen. Keep
it's going up and down.
Keep Christian Cage and fucking Luchasaurus off my television screen until the end of fucking time, because it's a fucking waste to me.
Why you hating on Christian?
Come on, I don't know about waste.
I need Christian to cut a promo on Arn Anderson where he's not going to be talking about his dead father. He's going to be talking about his just passed away son. I'm sorry. That is cruel and unusual, but I love it. I love it.
It's going to get so much heat.
Teach is known, but AEW Dynamite.
Christian's better than Edge. I said it.
Another up and down episode.
Friend. It's okay.
The ratings expected what they did with the NBA. They're dealing with the NBA playoffs because the NBA is actually very, very hot right now. So
it is, and it's only the first round. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, the NBA. This is the most buzz I've heard about the NBA in at least a decade. Like
you know why? Because it's not the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Like all these people like gunning for one thing, and it's like everyone is playing at top tier. When usually we get this around like the second round, maybe the third.
But also another thing, Krssi, is that the matchups in the Western Conference are just so good.
It's like it's like, and then like teams that you thought would be winning are losing.
Like the Eastern Conference Finals is pretty dog shit, but that Western Conference, holy shit! Like literally every matchup is like must see. So, I mean, now that the fucking Timberwolves is going to get swept, that's not must-see anymore.
Yeah, that was the only one out of the 4 first-round series that no one was interested in, and they knew what was going to happen. But Phoenix and Clippers, Lakers and Grizzlies, especially the Kings and the Warriors, because we got to stomp. We got freaking Draymond Green acting like he's professional wrestling.
Okay,
and then
first of all,
that led to Matt Caster saying the line. He said the line, "He's gonna stomp your ass out like you Draymond Green." Hey.
Leave Draymond Green alone, people. That was an accident. How was the man supposed to? And they only did it because. Don't get me started. I don't need to rant on this right now.
It's an accident.
It was an accident.
Caved the nigga's chest in, bro.
Wait, but how was he?
Just trying to get out. He's just trying to get away.
All right.
Potato.
All right.
It's okay.
All right. Let me get locked up in a city. Even if I'm grabbing your foot. Let me stomp you in your chest and you think it's an accident.
Just an accident.
Look at the okay. How was he supposed to get out of that?
She's like, play the footage. Play the footage.
That's what I'm saying.
I got it. I'ma stomp I'ma stomp a mud hole in his ass.
Draymond Green, he was in the shower like Top Guy JJ.
Make
you clap your hands, make you wanna stand.
So Sabonis just a bitch shit though.
Other people say
stomp. That Van Gundy shit.
My sister say stomp.
Yo, Sabonis did some Van Gundy shit. He really grabbed a man's foot, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Sabonis, he learned that from Arvinas, his dad. His dad used to play dirty. Remember how he used to guard Jack?
What we would have done, I think we would have all done the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. See, so don't act like this is something that's not.
But I'm saying we would have all done the same thing, but it still doesn't make it right.
Okay, see now that part. I didn't say that part. Now
that's
said
all I'm saying.
Like, now I just said it was an accident. What was he supposed to do? He was wrapped up. Everyone else would have done the same damn thing. Everyone act like they holding him down. Then they go suspend him 3 games. They know they was fucking wrong for that shit.
See, now the suspension was bullshit.
Yeah. The suspension was trash.
The suspension was bullshit.
Always coming for Draymond. He's like always had a fucking target.
You know what was even worse? You know what was even worse? James Harden getting ejected for a push-off.
That part, these refs are trash, son. Like these refs are, total.
You do a fucking box out move and you get ejected, bro.
It's getting really chippy in these playoffs, and a lot of people are getting injured as well, which I don't like to see because that really affects the whole playoff series. Yeah. But we shall see how it goes. It's not Draymond's fault that him and the family stomp the yard, the day before the game and stuff. Like, sheesh. You're just watching good cinema. Let's talk about the news, the elephant in the room, which if we're not talking about Vince McMahon on this show, who are we talking about, Miss Krssi Love?
What's the other person name? Damn it.
Read the title.
CM Punk. Yes, him.
There
that
you
one.
Go. It was
there. It was like right there. Thank you. See, it's either CM Punk or Vincey.
It was reported last week that AEW has been promoting a live televised event for Saturday, July 8th in Regina, Saskatchewan. It was also noted that this would be a new 2-hour primetime series. On last Friday's Matman Wrestling podcast, it was announced by Andrew Zarian that the show will be called AEW Collision. This was a name trademarked by the company back in February. And the report also notes that CM Punk is likely to return on the new show, as we talked about last week, or possibly the Rampage before. It was reported last week that there were tentative plans for his return, and it was also noted by Fightful that the Saturday show would serve as a soft roster split to allow talent who want to stay separate from particular situations, aka Phil Brooks, to do so. So in theory, if someone had a problem with Punk and he was on Collision, they would only appear on Dynamite or Rampage. On last Sunday's Wrestling Observer Live, it was reported by Andrew Zarian that Warner Brothers Discovery has been told that CM Punk will be back on AEW programming soon, and the report noted that the return is essentially happening, and WBD is aware of it. It was also noted that Punk has yet to speak with the Elite, something that Punk reportedly wants to do, but the Young Bucks in particular are said to be reluctant to work with him. It was been reported that AEW's new Saturday show, believed to be named Collision, will be what hosts Punk's return to the company. And while AEW has not announced the event yet, it's believed that Collision will debut on June 17th in Chicago and will include CM Punk's return. That is, of course, Chicago, and it was announced as the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, which of course was the home of the First Dance and CM Punk's return to professional wrestling in 2021. While the roster will have some sort of roster split, it's unknown how strict that will be. AEW is hoping to have the new 2-hour series to be on the same level as Dynamite. On last weekend's Wrestling Observer Live, Andrew Zarian noted that the plan for Punk upon his return to the company is a feud with Chris Jericho. According to the report, a sit-down meeting is set to happen with Punk, Jericho, AEW CEO Tony Khan, FTR, and more. There's no word on if the Elite will take part, but it was said that Punk wants that to happen. It was also noted earlier that of course the Young Bucks are reluctant to, and not keen to work with him. If everyone is able to come to an agreement during the meeting, one of Punk's first angles when he returns will be a feud with Jericho, and FTR and the Jericho Appreciation Society could get involved later on. Then on Friday, the Wrestling Observer newsletter just laid it all out and reported that the June 17th event will in fact be from the United Center, which is also the location that hosted Punk's debut with the company back in 2021. At this time, nothing is finalized, but the building is already booked. It will be announced when the Punk deal and deal with WBD for the new show are done. With the building already booked, it's unknown the TV deal is done or close to it. The show will likely have a special name and theme that has yet to be decided. A similar thing happened with Punk's debut with the company, as it was an early episode of Rampage called The First Dance. It was noted that the decision to bring Punk back was made many weeks ago, although there was an issue 2 weeks ago that was essentially worked out. Of course, that is probably the Instagram post by CM Punk. There were conflicting reports from sources about whether WBD wanted Punk back or as part of the new show or not. One person outside the company saw correspondence which suggested that WBD wanted him back and that he was extremely important for the Collision deal. The deal that will see AEW make $500,000 per hour for the show. So that would mean that with a 2-hour show, AEW would make in excess $52 million a year with this deal for the new Saturday show. The Wrestling Observer newsletter also reported that a planned meeting between Punk, Tony Khan, FTR, and Chris Jericho has not happened as of yet. Nothing has been resolved at this time, and there are many moving parts, and no other talent was invited to the meeting. The idea is that they'll try to work things out with Jericho, and if that goes well, Jericho will be there to work to help work things out with other people as well. Other people being the Elite and probably Jon Moxley as well. Meanwhile, Punk has not apologized or tried to work things out with the Young Bucks yet either. However, sources close to Punk noted that this is because he was told not to have any contact with them, so he hasn't. No one has said whether or not he would try if he could. There are people who want everyone involved to fix the situation and just move on. On Friday, Wade Keller of PW Torch reported, among the people I've talked to, there's not a high level of confidence that the meeting is going to go well, that it could make things worse, but maybe not. Maybe things will work out, but people who have been around Punk, and know people who have known Punk for a very long time are not optimistic that FTR mediating a meeting between Jericho and Punk is going to lead to any progress. Keller said that the idea of FTR being in the meeting is to be a neutral party that can hopefully bring Punk and Jericho together. Unlike with Jericho, where there's at least going to be an attempt, it seems at this point the idea of CM Punk and the Elite reconciling is completely off the table for now. And Dave Meltzer reported that when AEW's brand split comes into play, when the Saturday show debuts and Punk is the star of that show, the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club will be staying on Dynamite and be a part of that show exclusively. So a lot to unwrap with this story. We kind of touched on it last week. I'll start with you, Krssi Love. What do you think about the idea first of a Saturday show, 2-hour show for AEW that is going to be worth $52 million a year, which is really a game-changing deal for AEW at the time that, this year they're going to be starting their negotiations with Warner Brothers Discovery to extend their deal for Dynamite, but it might be now a combination deal for Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision on Saturdays, and CM Punk being the star of that show, and this is being something that Warner Brothers Discovery wants a part of the show. What do you think?
I'm happy that they get this money getting in their bag. Wonderful. Shout out to them. However, I am not one for splitting of brands. I don't like drafts. I don't like none of that bullshit. I think you should keep this stuff together. I'm very skeptical about this for a Saturday show, especially when the summer times come. Ain't nobody really gonna be home watching that shit.
Sorry, oh no, we went over this last week. You weren't here, but
okay.
I hate to tell you this, Miss Krssi Love. I think you're just thinking about yourself, and you're not thinking about the fact
you didn't let me finish my statement, though.
No, but let's be real. Professional wrestling
said
fans, about 75% of wrestling fans don't have a social life, so they will be home. And if you're from New York, Krssi Love, you should know better than anyone. You don't leave the house for a party on Saturday until 10 p.m. So you can watch the show from 8 to 10.
They have things called day parties now, friend. First of all, they start
and
at
you'll
3,
be home after the day party drunk at 8
they're
o'clock.
over by 10. You go out after the 10 o'clock time. So you might not be coming home until maybe like 1, 2-ish. That's when you're probably going to get to the club. Not I. I am a older generation person, and as I get older, as fine wine, friend, the time schedule changes up on people. That's just me. Like I was going to say, me personally, I probably won't be home every Saturday to watch it. Now, there will be some other people that will, and that's good for them. Again, I hate the whole splitting of things and stupid to me. It's all worked before when you have a brand of shows and just have them and just rotate them. You don't need that shit. But whatever, I don't know. I just live in New York and I work at a school. So that's what that is, okay? Now, you can carry on now, sir.
Top Guy JJ, what do you think about the whole Collision on Saturday and CM Punk being a part of it? And of course, what do you think this will mean for the AEW roster if there is a roster split involved?
I mean, CM Punk, we already discussed that. We kind of know that this is kind of what they need if they want any chance whatsoever to sell out Wembley Stadium. Like they just need him on the roster to, but it better not be with a motherfucking Chris Jericho if you want to fucking sell out a stadium. That's first and foremost. Like, we've already just dogged Chris Jericho. Now that'll be a cool feud. Like, what do you want to do? Full Gear or some shit? That's cool for that. But not no motherfucking All In. I ain't flying to London to watch fucking Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. I'll tell you that shit. The show on Saturday, that part I agree with. There ain't nobody gonna watch that. There ain't nobody watching Saturday Night Wrestling. I'm letting you know that. Like, that shit is a dub. Like, nobody's watching that shit. But what AEW does need, they do need a roster split. Like, they got too many motherfuckers. We've talked about this for 2 years. They got too many fucking people on the roster that gets no time. And then when people disappears like a Miro that no one knows where the fuck he's at, you can put him on a show and put him on TV. Because this 3 hours of TV shit ain't cutting it for the 150 people that they got on their roster. I'm probably downsizing that number. They're probably north over 200. So all of these people, and they're paying them, mind you. These people are getting paychecks. So not like they're sitting home, unemployed. They're getting paid to not appear on TV or to do nothing of value for the company. So they gotta create an avenue of social platform to get them on that should be relevant. But Saturday night ain't it. Like that, it's just not it. Like I'm not watching wrestling on Saturday nights. I mean,
if I'm home, maybe, but 9 out of 10 chances we're not home.
See, you put it correctly. You're not. But wrestling fans don't have social lives.
You're right.
I'm the majority. I tried to be politically correct and say 75%. No, it's more like 85%. They don't have no social lives. A lot of them are homebodies. A lot of them like the Saturday pay-per-views for WWE. So you think they're not going to watch a Saturday show on with CM Punk? And the people that AEW is looking for,
how does that even work now? So we have to now watch a show at 8 and then a pay-per-view?
Okay. They're going to watch the show. They're going to watch the show if CM Punk is potentially promoted for it. But a weekly show, I ain't watching a weekly show on Saturday. That's just me. That might just be Krssi. That might just be like a certain demographic. But I'm not watching wrestling on Friday night, Saturday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. It ain't happening.
It's too much. So much.
I'm already making room for Friday night. Sometimes Thursday night if you want to catch an episode of Impact. Monday night, for 30 minutes to an hour tops, while you getting shit done. And Tuesday's a dead night to me now. And then Wednesdays for Dynamite. It's too many days of wrestling. So people's like, yo, how many days of wrestling are you going to consume a week? And you know what? If they're filling the void for those Saturday homebodies, then hopefully it'll draw some ratings.
Yeah. And like ALW saying here, and wrestling fans will go out of their way to watch wrestling no matter when it is. And CM Punk is probably on that tier of like Mercedes Moné of... I think the only person I can compare it to is Mercedes Moné fans. Like, he has those type of fans that will stay on a Saturday night and watch him if he is like the star of that show. These are the same people that argue with people about CM Punk did nothing wrong for the past 9 months since he's been gone. You don't think they're going to stay home for a Saturday night? They will stay home during their wedding to watch CM Punk. What are we talking about? We got a super chat donation here from the Negro Buck Nick Jackson. Thank you so much, good brother. We appreciate those. He says, my biggest question about a potential roster split is how will this affect the title pictures? I would think that with the title pictures, you can split up a lot of the different titles. Like you can have, the AEW Women's World Championship on a separate show from the TBS Championship. You could have the TNT title on one show and have the International Championship on another show. The Tag Team Championships and the Trios Championships can be on separate shows, and that will help things out a lot. The one title that needs to be on both shows is MJF.
I can do that. Okay.
It's MJF and the world title. The MJF and the world title needs to be on both shows. Like he can be on, one show one week and not be on the other, but he needs to be on that other show the following week and then not be on Wednesday night. They need to kind of make it like the first 4 months of the brand split back in 2002. How do you think it's gonna transpire, like the title picture wise, Top Guy JJ?
I think you do not create another world title. You do not WWE this shit. You do not do that. Yes, you grant the champion access to any of the shows.
One title. That's it. Oh, you need one.
He beefs on whoever show it is, and he should have time on all 3 shows if they do that to generate a potential ratings boost for each of the shows, because it was always significant when the champion of the company was on one of the lower tiered shows, because it always brought eyes to that program, because even if he doesn't do anything of importance, his appearance on that show is letting you know that they care about it to a degree, right? So, like, if you just sit there and you only have the fucking Atlantic Championship on that shit, nobody's gonna give a fuck. Like, no one's gonna care. Like, the trios titles that is already fucking dead to me. No one cares. Like, like it's you gotta have the big titles of relevance. So MJF gets to go on all the shows. Now, what you do with that TNT championship is going to be the big one. So, like, I think you got to put the TNT championship probably on the second tier show. Like, because, you want equal. Dynamite is going to do numbers regardless. Dynamite's going to do numbers. You want the second championship to be home probably by Rampage. Because if you want Rampage to be taken seriously, put something on there that means something. And if you have the TNT championship home there, then that's cool. And then you figure out a way, because obviously the tag team champions can go on any show. The world champion can go on any show. The third show doesn't need a stable champion. They don't need a champion weekly. They just
I think you were actually on something before that when you said the TNT championship can be an exclusive thing on Rampage, because we don't know where this Saturday show is going to be, whether it's going to be on TNT or TBS. The TNT championship, we know on Rampage TNT. Is going to be on TNT. So if you want to make that like a title specific for Rampage, at least that will get something, and you could start to rebuild it up, because every time I think the TNT championship is recovered, they take it a step back by it changing like it did this week on Dynamite.
Yeah, it's like you get maybe like a good month and a half with it, and then they go to somebody else. It's like it's not a step. Like give them a good 90 days. Like I don't know. Like it's just not. It's like how long do Hobbs even have the belt?
A month and a half. It's like they Tony literally says, "Oh, it's gonna be in this guy's hometown. Okay, you can win it." Like we literally have had.
So, like I was like, come on now, really? Like, why do we need Wardlow to win? Like, there's so many other guys that could probably get the belt.
I broke this down on AE Ramble. We have had already 5 title changes of the TNT championship in the first 4 months of this year. You know how many we had last year? 6. We are almost matching how many title changes we had in 12 months.
Yeah.
In 4 months.
And you just put in perspective, like if you want. Like they created this new trios championship. They created the Atlantic championship or whatever the fuck that shit is called now. You want the trios championship to have any form of relevancy. That shit needs to travel across every show that they have. Like it needs to be defended. That's a title that pretty much should be defended every other week. Like that's a title that you need to see in action often. If you want that shit to have any level of relevancy, because right now, I honestly swear to God, I don't even know who the trios champions are. Like, I don't even know.
It's the House of Black. They've been getting spotlighted. They weren't spotlighted this week. They weren't spotlighted this week on Dynamite, but they've been getting consistent time on TV.
So that's good for them.
Good time, too, at that. It's been good in matches.
Like we got Annika in the chat who even saying that, yeah, right now I feel the trios is better than the tag titles right now. Because the tag titles just got FTR with the titles. We had to deal with the Guns pre-Many Men having the titles before that.
Now, so that's some hypocritical shit, right? So we want, like, you know, people cry about wanting like new teams and wanting new things to happen with you know, getting pushes and shit. And obviously the Guns aren't the best team in the company, but they try to elevate another tag team to make it more stacked. And now that was a fucking problem. Like,
hey, they did a good job of putting the titles on Swerve in Our Glory, and that elevated them. Then they put the titles on the Acclaim, and that elevated them. You then needed to transition to an actual tag team that was worthy of the prestige of those tag team titles.
But
by putting it on the Gun, they kind of lower, but at least it was a story. It was a story of two successful singles guys coming together. It was very similar. It was the black version of Kenny and Hangman in a way.
Now, taking the titles from the Acclaim to give it to the Guns was fucking stupid. Like, the Acclaim should have had a longer run, a much longer run with the titles, because obviously the Acclaim was the hottest thing in fucking AEW tag team.
Yeah, they were too hot, but I agree with the Heat part though, so I understand both sides.
You know, now that FTR's got it, now it's like, yeah, you got to be a legit force to actually beat them. So now, you know, obviously, you know, everything gets a hiccup. Wrestling gets hiccups in every fucking division. So I just want to see, like, if people really likes this trio shit, because I've never been a fan of the trios championship. So now I'm trying to find a way to become a fan. I'm being honest. I've never been a fan of the idea. I know that is something that's one of Kenny Omega's babies, and I love Kenny Omega, but it just, like, if it give me more action from it pretty much bi-weekly, and I'll find my way to buy myself in. But just right now, like, it's kind of mid tier to me.
That's fair. That's fair. We got another super chat donation here from Alan Weinstein. Thank you so much for that big super chat donation, good brother. He says, tonight, the Workhorse Wrestling Network will be on Tru Heel Heat Twitch for GCW watch along for tonight's GCW event. He says, also, Romeo will be playing Name That Superstar next Tuesday night at the Cookout on the Workhorse Wrestling YouTube channel. He's coming to steal the title. Romeo's been going on all these different YouTube channels and trying to steal championships and win drafts. So appreciate Romeo spreading his wings outside the Tru Heel Heat verse here. So good super chat donation from Alan Weinstein there. We got Annika with a comment here saying next program should be House of Black versus Blackpool Combat Club for the trios titles. I'd be down for that. And House of Black is kind of like tweeners, so they can verse anyone, whether it be heel or face. So that's perfectly fine with me. But I think that the trios and the tag team titles should be on separate shows. Like, I feel the TNT Championship and the International Championship should be on separate shows, same as the TBS and the Women's Championship. So it feels like all those titles are more important. It's kind of like how they did with the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title in recent memory, where both of those titles, with the U.S. title being the top title on Raw for the last few months, and the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther's reign, it's elevated both of those titles. But other AEW news, real quick ones here. We had on social media, Komander became the latest person to become All Elite, signing a contract with AEW. Tony Khan announced on Wednesday that after the Luchador's performance against Switchblade Jay White on the show, Komander has signed with the company. Khan wrote, he's one of the most incredible athletes in wrestling, and after his great effort on tonight on AEW Dynamite, now it's official, at Komander is All Elite. Komander made his AEW debut in March as a part of the Face of the Revolution ladder match. After that, there was reports that he was gaining interest from WWE, but another person that seems to be either a victim or a victor of the whole WWE hiring freeze because they were interested in Komander. Another person does not sign with WWE, signs with AEW following Jay White. So very interesting times. And we'll talk about someone else WWE is interested, seemingly going to Impact Wrestling. We'll talk about that on the show today. As previously reported, AEW recently announced that it will hold All In London on August 27th at Wembley Stadium. This is the week before the date when All Out would happen, which is Labor Day weekend. This led to speculation about whether or not there would even be an All Out this year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that people in AEW have probably told others on social media that All Out is still happening and will be a week later. AEW has yet to confirm the date, but Anthony Bowens did say it was still happening after the announcement was made. This was also made official by Will Washington when I was on Day After Dynamite a few weeks back, that because, you know, when they sent out the press release for All In Wembley Stadium, they specified that it wasn't a pay-per-view. It said nothing about being on Bleacher Report. So what I suggested on Day After Dynamite, and I'll say it here, and I think I said this when we talked about it a few weeks ago, Krssi, I think it's going to be on the new Max. If you didn't know, Warner Brothers Discovery made the announcement that they're dropping the HBO from HBO Max, and now it's going to be a new streaming platform called Max. And when AEW sent out the press release for All In, they said that it's celebrating 100 years of Warner Brothers. So I think that's going to coincide with each other, and All In is going to be available on Max, and then the following week, All Out will be a major pay-per-view, $50 like it usually is at the United Center.
I mean, listen.
You started to sell the idea a little bit, and I was like, why would All Out happen if you just did a stadium pay-per-view a few weeks prior? Like it just, to me, made zero. You ain't got no time to build it up.
Right.
Building up 2 pay-per-views in the same fucking program.
WWE is.
Yeah, I was like, this makes no sense.
This is why I'm hopeful that I think the Jericho thing is a red herring, and that at All In we could get FTR and CM Punk versus the Elite, and then All Out the following week we do Punk versus Omega. Give me that.
Wait, help! You gotta help me clear this up because I'm trying to absorb this right now. You just said that there is a chance that All Out is still taking place in the same time frame. But then they got
the next week, Labor Day weekend.
But then they got Full Gear in November, and then they got Revolution in February or March.
Yeah, March usually.
Why can't they just shift it a little bit so they can have time to actually build the shit?
Yep.
I think they're gonna build both shows at the same time. But they did something similar with that with last year when they had Forbidden Door and they were still building to Blood and Guts, which was Wednesday afterwards. So this is not like out of the realm of what they've done before.
Though. Isn't that different? Because that's literally the Forbidden Door was you really didn't need build up for Forbidden Door. It was a cross promotion.
No, but that's what I think All In is. Remember, we went to the first All In. It wasn't just, the Elite guys or ROH people at that time. It was multiple promotions. You had people from AAA. You had people from NWA. You had people from Impact. You had people from New Japan Pro Wrestling, all coming together for All In. I think that's what this year's All In.
Something more put together.
I think they're going to use all of their partnerships for this one. I think they're going to have people from New Japan. Maybe even they'll try to get away with having people from AAA and, every other, type of people that they can get from and combine it all together. I think we're going to see Will Ospreay on the show. I wouldn't be surprised if Kota Ibushi has been talking about it a lot, that he wants to be on this show. So I think that it's going to be more of a collaboration for All In.
Got it. Okay. All right. If that is the lane, then I guess it makes more sense. But I'm just trying to understand it. Like they didn't label it AEW All In. They're just calling it All In. Okay.
They're calling it AEW All In, but I think it's still gonna be a collaboration type of thing because they're trying to get 90,000. Shit, they're gonna need every help they need.
It gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be. All right. I'm following along here.
Yep. We got Annika who says that Bill could have been better for Forbidden Door. It was kind of out of their hands with the amount of injuries that they had during Forbidden Door last year, with Brian going down, Kenny wasn't there, Punk wasn't there. Like, that was kind of out of their hands. Hopefully this year's Forbidden Door will have better. Bell says, what's the point in doing Forbidden Door then this year? Because Forbidden Door is just AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like I said, All In, they have more than just New Japan as their partner. They're going to probably use Impact. All their partnerships. They've done partnerships with Impact. They've done partnerships with AAA. They've had people from multiple different
NWA.
independents and everything. I'm trying to make y'all understand what I think is going to happen.
Forbidden Door was always good to do. Like,
it should have been.
That's a focal point. Yeah, that's a good focal point. Like, I wouldn't affect that at all. Like, especially after the show they had last year with the amount of injuries they had. Like, y'all remember how many people was injured for that show? Like, and now I'm just so glad and grateful that they're so much healthier in the wrestling landscape this year that they could. There's so many possibilities this year for Forbidden Door. But as you said, for something like All In is going to be at minimum a 4-hour show. Like, you could get so much done, like, during that, and expose so many companies to such a raucous audience of fucking London.
Yeah. Like, and also the fact that Forbidden Door can be used to build All In, because like I said, I think Will Ospreay is going to be at All In, but it's looking like he's going to probably be the winner of this IWGP US Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. You can do Kenny versus Ospreay 2 at Forbidden Door, and then do the third part of the trilogy in London, because then it's be like, basically their first match was in Japan. Both guys have kind of called Japan their second home. The second match is in Kenny's home country of Canada for Forbidden Door. And then the third match would be in Ospreay's home country of the UK for All In. So that makes the world of sense. Then you have the whole, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson that didn't happen last year. You could do that at Forbidden Door, have it for the TV title, which is a 15-minute time limit. Do the time limit draw at Forbidden Door to set up All In for the rematch. Like, it's so many other things. I think you're kind of being closed-minded if you're like, oh, what's Forbidden Door for? You can basically make both shows work together.
That's why we have a calendar, friends.
Time in, align them. You always say build-ups and story. You want the story? There you go.
And we have also constantly talked about taking this place to the next level. And these are steps. Like, the more it's like, and that's why asking the question about the All In and the All Out and how it fits, because clearly if they're trying to do more, obviously you don't want to oversaturate it. But hey, listen, if they're doing it well and they're doing it right, listen, it's all going to be welcome and it's all going to be fucking good.
Absolutely. We got King of the North saying Vikingo is absolutely going to be on that UK defending the belt. Hopefully he's going to be in one piece, because this man is working way too much. He is working way too much and doing all his crazy moves in all these different promotions. I would love to see a King of the North, but I'm worried about Vikingo right now because he's working everywhere. And we got Annika who says, give me Ishii versus Keith Lee and Monet whooping Britt Baker's butt. And I'm there. That's another one. Like, you can try to spend that money and get Mercedes Monet and have her versus Britt Baker. At the same time, you can hopefully Jamie Hayter is still the AEW Women's World Champion. What's the biggest match they can do in London with the AEW roster? Saraya versus Jamie Hayter in the UK, the two UK-based women. I think that would be something that they would be highly into as well. So it's a lot that they can do with All In. I'm very much looking forward to it, but this is all speculation right now. We don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months before then. Our final AEW note before we move on to WWE, Hangman Adam Page and AEW are reportedly discussing a contract extension Fightful Select reports that the two sides are in the process of contract talks for a possible new deal, and sources told the outlet that talks started fairly recently with no timetable on when it could be completed. Page is an AEW original and has been with the company since its formation was announced to kick off 2019. He has the same representation as Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, who are also in the process of talks to extend their deals. Now, I want to ask you, Top Guy JJ, how do you think this whole Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page and the Elite negotiating their contracts right now could be kind of work 1 and 2 with this whole Punk coming back into play? Could they use that as a negotiation tool to get more money out of Tony Khan, or will it lead to them possibly looking for other ventures outside the company?
I don't see any of the Elite members exploring their options. To be fair, there's no way, with the state of what the other company, obviously the other company being WWE, there's no fit. There's no fit for anybody from the Elite at this current time. It just won't make sense for them to make a move, especially when they're in as prominent of a story that they're in right now. They're used as major players, and now the financial part is tricky, right? Because not a single one of them is worth the money that CM Punk is worth. Not a single one of them. Let's be fair. CM Punk is a bigger draw than all of them combined. Maybe stretching the Elite part a little much, but way more than a Hangman and way more than one of them individually. So CM Punk obviously is a scumbag, but that's a scumbag that everybody wants to see. So that equals dollars, that equals negotiation power, that equals leverage. No one honestly is legit turning their TVs on when Hangman Page is announced. So he's not somebody that is being drawn to use you as a tool to bring people in. He's a part of a great program, but he's not the program. So he's gonna get paid well, but I hope he doesn't fall into that trap of feeling that he deserves CM Punk, Bryan Danielson type money, because he simply doesn't. He simply doesn't.
That part.
He doesn't.
You're not John Moxley, friend.
Not big enough. He's not a big enough star to use himself as leverage like that. And if he even try to go elsewhere, his ass will end up in NXT. So it ain't. It's we all we love him and we love cowboy shit, and Hangman Page is probably one of most people's favorites. But you're gonna call a spade a spade. Think about it as a business. He's not generating 500,000-600,000 people on his own to watch your program. Mm-hmm. He's not doing it. I'm sorry. So pay him, but be careful with how much you pay him. Because you still got Darby Allin. You still got Jungle Boy Jack Perry. You still got.
That we're gonna do now. We're gonna call the whole name, the whole government. Jack Perry, Jungle
Boy. Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's what they've been doing.
He was Jungle Boy before, just Jungle Boy.
That's what they've been doing.
Hey, blame JR. Blame JR. JR been pushing for it for years.
You got to lock in all of the other talent that AEW is going to be pushing over the next couple of years, and they. You don't want to essentially fucking be paying luxury tax every year, because that's not going to be good for your brand. So Hangman Page is a good bar setter for what a lot of people is going to end up getting paid in AEW, because a lot of people there are original. Mm-hmm. But you just got to be careful with what you give them. You really got to be careful.
That is fair. That is fair. We're going to talk about WWE now. Last night, you had SmackDown. The show featured Solo Sikoa defeating Matt Riddle in a no disqualification match, thanks to some help from the Usos with no Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the building. Why? Yep. I still don't know. They tried to explain it on commentary, but they didn't do a good job of explaining it at all, in my opinion. You also had the Judgment Day beat LWO show in tag team action. If you think that's a repeat, so did I. You also
I thought it was too. I was like, didn't they just do this? But okay, like whatever.
I literally had to check if I was watching the same show. We had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beat Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville to retain the WWE.
The tag team partners. I mean, tag champs. I don't know. Like, I would have put it on another heel, but because like, why we need another baby?
You need another baby face because they're setting up so when Ronda's healthy, her and Shayna can win those titles. That's why Liv and Raquel have the titles. I mean,
okay.
It is what it is. They beat Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Zelina Vega made her case for to Adam Pearce to get a shot at Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Backlash. And what was her case? Oh, it was that I'm short and I'm Puerto Rican.
Right.
And yes, she did get the shot.
She's the only Puerto Rican that's on the roster, and she should go.
And she's short. That's what she literally used as reasoning.
She didn't say I was a queen of the ring.
Do you want to know the last time she got a singles victory, Krssi Love?
When she won the Queen of the Ring?
No, December 21st, 2021.
Damn.
Yes. But speaking of Backlash, not the worst match made for Backlash, ladies and gentlemen. WWE
this shit right
made Seth Rollins versus Omos for the event. For some reason, I don't even know if Seth Rollins and Omos know each other, let alone have been feuding with each other. Jesus Christ, what are we doing? And in good news on this show,
you're gonna stop disrespecting, like almost gonna keep getting these L's. Damn, son, like this is crazy.
In good news on the show, because there wasn't a lot of it, if you could tell by my review of it, Gunther defeated Xavier Woods in a very good matchup to retain the Intercontinental Championship. But my, oh my, was this a hard episode of SmackDown to get through without me having a brain aneurysm that was really a headache, but it felt like a brain aneurysm.
By 8:45, I was like, let me get this edible in here so I can just like enjoy the rest of the show, because this shit was like god awful. I do not miss doing those reviews. I'm so sorry.
That was one of the worst SmackDowns I remember in quite some time.
You might as well just do a pre-tape show and just call it a damn day. Don't even do it on Friday. Like people's Friday nights are wasted. Just tape it on a Thursday. I don't know. Like,
and this is the most watched show in all of wrestling.
Krssi, be one of the worst Backlash cards I have ever seen.
And it's in Puerto Rico. Of all this is going to be in a gorgeous location. I'm sure the set is going to look so nice, and it's a horrible ass garbage of a card. I mean, when I seen that, almost I was like, I should turn the TV off right now because this.
Yo, bro, I saw Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, and
and
that's gonna be a good match. They set that up. They at least set that up. The Seth Rollins and Omos is one of the most pick a name out of the hat matches that I have ever seen in my fucking life. Like you get all these WWE fans that's like, oh, where's the story for all these AEW matches that are on fucking TV? Yep. This is a premium live event. This is a premium live event. This is what WWE used to ask us to pay $40 to $50 for, and we get Seth Rollins versus Omos.
You want to pick a name out of a hat and give us a match? Fucking do Seth freaking Rollins versus Gunther. Like you want to pick a name out of a fucking hat and give us a match? You just gonna waste Seth Rollins like that? You just.
I think your body is just like not retaining like the red meat anymore. It's just gone over.
I just want to know whose bag did Seth Rollins shit in at WrestleMania? Because it feels like ever since WrestleMania, you had the Raw after WrestleMania with that weird segment where he came out to the ring. He got told, during the commercial break that plans change and that he wasn't gonna be able to cut a promo, and they just sang his song and he left. Then he randomly gets this match with The Miz, which overachieved this week on Raw. We'll talk about Raw just after this. But then you get this match where they didn't even take the time to set it up. And the one match on the card that they've done a pretty good build-up for in Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, they haven't even announced it yet because they're waiting for Bad Bunny to come back and do an angle to set it up. But yet this one, they do no fucking angles for it, and it gets announced last night on neither man's show. what the fuck are we doing with Seth Rollins? I got asked this question because our boy Phil Lindsay of Bleacher Report did a great article saying WWE has a Seth Rollins problem. And I turned that back because I was like, no, I don't think WWE has a Seth Rollins problem. I think Seth Rollins has a WWE problem because the only thing this man can be is number 2 in this company. That's the highest he will ever achieve because Roman Reigns is up here to the WWE and Seth Rollins will always be here. He fills the spot that CM Punk had before when he had to deal with John Cena, that Randy Orton had to deal with before when he had to deal with John Cena, Bryan Danielson, Dean Ambrose. All these guys have dealt with the same problem. No matter how great a wrestler you are, no matter how great a character, no matter how over you are with the fans, you will only be number 2 in their eyes. So I don't think Seth Rollins can ever be elevated to the level that his talent deserves unless he leaves the company, and I don't see that happening. So I think that Seth Rollins has a WWE problem way more than WWE has a Seth Rollins problem.
Very well said. Too bad he ain't going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
There's nothing else to say.
That boy is a WWE lifer until he gets old enough to bounce.
He's Shawn Michaels and Undertaker all together. He's not going anywhere.
He definitely ain't going nowhere.
He's a company guy. Now his wife, on the other hand, that's a different story, but go ahead.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
I think so too.
I think we'll get there, but she ain't going.
I don't think she ain't going to no other wrestling company, but I think she'll go somewhere else. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. Annika saying it would have been better if they had Seth versus Miz too. We got Alan Banky who says, why couldn't Seth Rollins get drafted to SmackDown and then face Gunther for the IC title? I mean, that would have been great. We got also Dolores saying Seth had been shooting on Cody all week of Mania. Could that been an issue? Maybe. I don't know. We got a Frantic World that says most WWE fans are gonna say the Seth story with Omos is just started. That one right there.
Yeah.
Ain't lying.
We got Negro Buck who says he does have a WWE problem. He could still go hard in the paint, but he's going nowhere. He's getting paid and his wife is there. So yeah, that's how I feel. Shrug. He's never leaving. He's not leaving. He's not going anywhere. And that, like, look at your former Shield brethren. John Moxley realized he was never going to be anything more than number 3
That's
because
so
he was
true.
behind you too.
Yeah,
he was behind you too. So he realized that, I got to get out of here to achieve I'm able to do.
It's called the Cody effect, friends.
Now Seth is number 3. Now Seth is number 3 behind Roman and Cody now.
Yep. I never thought I'd see the day, but listen.
Whoa!
We got,
which is a banger on the train. If you're on the train, you listen to that. It's great shit.
Oh, absolutely. Banger in the gym too.
Yep, in the gym, in my car, I'm by myself with windows down. It's been nice days. I'm blasting that on the.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it on the bench press when you put the press up. King of the North says they put the default Raw World Title on him last year, and his reign stunk. I don't think his reign stunk, but it wasn't memorable. That's for damn sure. It wasn't that memorable. Negro Buck says facts, and I'm so happy for Moxie's reached his full potential like a beautiful bloody butterfly. That's a good one. But speaking of someone else who probably is the highest he can get is number 4 based on our ranking here, Drew McIntyre. Per Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer's daily update, Drew McIntyre won't be returning to action for quote unquote at least a few more weeks based on word over last weekend. The Scottish Warrior has missed the past 3 weeks of SmackDown after suffering a loss to Gunther in a triple threat match, also including Sheamus at WrestleMania 39 on April 2nd. Following rumors started by fans that Drew McIntyre is preparing to leave WWE in time for an appearance at AEW All in London this August. Reports have revealed that McIntyre's contract runs well past that date. He has at least 9 months left on his deal from the report. After reporting that he'd remain out for another couple of weeks, Dave Meltzer provided an update on Wrestling Observer Radio. He said, and I quote, "He's not going to be back on TV next week. He's not going to be back for a couple of more weeks." They announced the Madison Square Garden show, which is in July, and he wasn't announced for that show either. But that's not necessarily, I was just told that it's a couple more weeks, and we'll see what happens from there. There is an injury and there's a contract issue, although the contract issue, his contract doesn't come due for many, many months, but also, but as far as signing a new deal, there's nothing new, and they're still far apart. This follows the news that we talked about last week, that McIntyre was frustrated with his pay and his creative in the company. So we've talked about Seth. We don't think Seth's leaving. What about Drew McIntyre, Miss Krssi Love? Do you think that Drew will eventually re-sign with WWE despite his frustration with creative and his money? Even though he feels like another guy that's a company guy, he has left in the past. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between him and Seth. What do you think?
I still think he is a company guy. Like, he left and he saw that there wasn't like greener pastures where he went or whatever, and then he came back. So I feel like he will get the money that he wants and he will stay. I think he's comfortable there. He might not like the decisions that are being made, but he's comfortable where he is right now.
I can see that. What about you, Top Guy?
This is the wrestling game.
I think there's something wrong with your mic, sir. You're sounding very robot-y and staticky. Yeah, it's choppy. You might want to unplug, maybe plug back in. I don't know.
I ain't plugged into anything.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong then. Maybe your computer malfunction? I don't know.
Probably I don't know.
You sound better now. You sound better now.
I took my charger out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I did was take my charger out. For fuck's sakes. I guess I got to leave the charger in for the whole show. Cool. Awesome. It's frustrating because when Drew McIntyre and all of these guys were having their time in 2019, 2020, 2021, guess who was at the expense of? Guys like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the people like Gunther, the people that is in the spotlight for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. This is how it works. You're trying to build more stars. And anybody should understand, if anybody should understand that, it's his ass. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the problem with these fucking wrestlers and the problem with these fucking fans that's in the prisoner of the fucking moment. They're lifelong prisoners of the moment, not realizing the same shit happened for you a couple years ago. Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. Talk it.
There's a small handful of spots of main event spots. Small handful. This year, it happened to be occupied by the greatest fucking rivalry in the history of the WWE.
Like, you've got your shine like 2-3 years ago. Be patient. Like, nobody want to see you right now.
Not greatest rivalry. Greatest storyline in the history of WWE. Headline WrestleMania this year. Oh my fucking goodness! Like, cry us a fucking river. Mm-hmm. Like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, and it's just like. How many main events do y'all want? Y'all want 6 main events?
No.
You want this guy.
To be fair to Drew, his main event run happened in front of nobody.
Whose fault is that? The pandemic's not ours. You still got it.
I'm just saying.
What are you gonna give him? A third run? What are you gonna give him? A third championship run before you give anybody else their first?
Personally, I don't want to see it. That's just me.
Like, I don't
like
mind
SB kindly told me I'm only just one out of like 87% of people that do it or will watch it or whatever. So it's fine.
I don't mind it happening again, but I don't mind it not happening again right now. Like, there's more talent. Like, when the fuck is Finn Balor gonna get his break? Like,
ding, ding.
When, you know what I mean? Like, there's people that when now Shinsuke Nakamura just came back. When the fuck is he gonna get reinserted back into a main picture? There's people on the roster that your ass skipped, and they are gonna need their opportunity at some point to show that they can be fucking powerful people in the industry as well, and not just your British ass. Like, cut the shit, man. Like, people's always complaining about a spot when they don't realize, when they know they work for a fucking company that has hundreds of people in it. Selfish fucking bastards. Like, oh my God. Such fucking babies, and these fucking men are in their 30s.
No, they're old. Some of them are older, friend.
Some of them are in their 40s. But him in particular, he's in his 30s. And fucking babies.
Hey, you can want more. You can want more. It's okay to want more,
bro. You can.
You're like you could want more, but like, where do we think this is gonna go? Like, what are we gonna do next for you, Joe? Where would you like to go?
This man hoped and prayed for a show in the UK, and it happened. They gave him the main event, and then they gave him that awful finish to a great matchup. And then he had to sing with Tyson Fury in front of all his countrymen that he let down. I mean, that
was his decision.
No, it wasn't his decision. That was probably Triple H. Triple H is not a good booker. I said it once. I'll say it again. I say it once. I'll say it again. That's your moment. You need the moment.
At least he's had moments. He main evented WrestleMania and defeated Brock Lesnar clean. How many people?
In front of nobody.
It doesn't matter. It happened. It happened.
Hey, like if a tree falls in a forest and no one sees it, did it happen?
What the fuck? Was it on TV?
Was it on TV? It wasn't in front of anybody.
Was it on TV? Was it on TV? Because no one's seeing that tree falling. If it wasn't on TV, no one could prove that it happened. But every motherfucking body that is watching this show right now on the YouTube channel, thank you to all you guys that are watching us. We all can prove that Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36.
Remember when he extended his hand out? He wanted to feel us all.
Thank you.
He wanted to feel us all.
Thank you.
A new report from Fightful Select reveals that an agreement has been established between Twitch and WWE that will allow WWE
That's why everybody got their stuff back. Great.
Yep, to return to the streaming platform with very few limitations. Sources indicate that the lion's share of resulting revenue will be divided between Twitch and the wrestlers, which has been gladly received by talent. Fightful has also reported that existing restrictions do still require prior clearance before WWE talent streams in partnership with individuals from other companies. This new agreement is the latest in a series of negotiations between third-party platforms and WWE, and the deal comes over 2 years after WWE added a new policy in fall 2020 that they would be taking over talent's Twitch accounts and that they had to sever relationships with third-party platforms. They also took over talent's cameos, and the situation has led to frustration among the WWE stars. There was reportedly a talent meeting in April of last year in which talent was told they would be able to expand their third-party platforms again, but it took some time for the deal with Twitch to be finalized. I mean, it's great for the talent involved, but I just don't like the fact that this has led to fans online being like, WWE is so great for letting people do what they could have done before until they made it a rule that they couldn't do it. We can't praise WWE for this. We should just be happy for the superstars. I think that's what we just need to do here.
Okay. I mean,
carry on.
Sure.
Top guy JJ says, I got a Twitch. How about they make a deal for me? On Friday, following the IC title match between Xavier Woods and Gunther, Worked Wrestling's Twitter account reported that the bout was supposed to be the start of a new feud between the New Day and Imperium. saying that despite a loss to Gunther on SmackDown, one long-term backstage pitch has seen Xavier Woods and a fully healed Big E and Kofi Kingston feeding with Imperium once the New Day are ready to return. The centerpiece of the feud would be Big E facing Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Big E has recently commented on how his healing journey has progressed since suffering a broken neck during a match in March 2022. He says that he is back in the gym. We don't know how long he has to recover. Of course, the New Day trio would also need to wait until they have a returning third member in Kofi Kingston as well. Kofi Kingston suffered an injury on the March 3rd episode of SmackDown that has seen him written off TV while he recovers. I'd be all for New Day versus Imperium, and especially Big E versus Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I'm with it.
No arguments there.
Big meaty men slapping meat is the dream. Yes, Frantic World. I choose great pictures. I know. We got Frantic World that says Mandy Rose is still making more money and she's not on Twitch.
Listen, Lee.
She's out showing. She's out here fucking being naked in front of people. Of course, she's gonna be making fucking money.
I mean, okay.
I mean, she's showing her things. Those things are thinging. We got
tatas and them bun buns.
We got Erica saying, love that. Does this mean we're getting close to Big E coming back? I hope so. I would love to see Big E back. That's going to be a huge pop whenever he comes back. I'm ready for it. But this week we had Monday Night Raw. They did 1.818 million viewers. The show featured the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, forming an unholy one-night alliance that led to Solo Sikoa defeating Rey Mysterio in a good opening matchup. You also had post-match, the Bloodline took out the LWO. Later in the show, though, the Judgment Day couldn't hold up their end of the bargain as Matt Riddle, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens defeated the Judgment Day in a six-man tag team main event. Post-match, a huge chaotic brawl broke out with the Bloodline, Riddle, KO, Zayn, the Judgment Day, and LWO to end the show. We had a surprisingly really good bout as we had Seth Rollins defeating The Miz in was probably The Miz's best match in the past few years, at least since 2018 or something like that. You also had Bronson Reed cause a no contest to Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory, laying out Lashley after last week to set up their triple threat match at Backlash that we mentioned earlier. You also had Cody Rhodes come out and call out Brock Lesnar and beat down on some security as Brock the Texas Ranger. When the eyes of the Ranger are upon you, anywhere you go, he's gonna see. As he watched on as Cody beat up on security, and he laughed as Cody couldn't get his hands on him. We also had Trish Stratus come out and explain her actions of betraying Becky Lynch by saying she felt underappreciated and felt Becky should have thanked her for putting women's wrestling on the map in WWE. But that doesn't explain why you helped her win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles or helped her win at WrestleMania, and why you were trying to win the tag team matchup that you said that you wanted to cost Becky in. It's just a lot of logic holes in her explanation. But then again, Trish Stratus looked like this.
Why the Thunderdome boos are in there? Thunderdome. Why? Yes. I thought they removed that shit.
Nope. They use it a lot.
They just injected mad Thunderdome boos in her shit. Like, what the fuck was that?
I was like, we have no faith for these fans to boo Trish with this whack explanation that we got. So let's put in the Thunderdome boos.
Oh, that was me. I did it for you people that might be soft like this.
That was so.
This is rough. Rough.
But then again, Trish looked like this, so I think everybody was okay with the explanation. It was a good promo. It's just the content of the promo was not good.
That's the problem. And anybody that's like, yeah, this is great, bro. Hey, she just helped these motherfuckers.
They were looking at her assets. That's why, friend.
Just helped them win the championships in March.
They were all the way up her chin.
Win them in March. Like they're not. It's not like it's happened in December or no. This was last month. This was last month.
I said it last week with Josh and Cresta. This is the most microwave booked feud in the WWE right now. This is the fucking shit that you put that been in your freezer for a week. You warm it up for 30 seconds and want to eat it. And you're like, why is the middle cold?
That's not somebody taking a fresh pack of chicken out and season it up, and then you put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. You're gonna get some soggy, disgusting, stupid, nonsensical bullshit. This is what we got. But she looked fucking good doing it. She looked fucking good doing it. But it doesn't take away from the fucking idiocy from that fucking whole promo and explanation. Sorry. Not sorry.
It was such a bad explanation. I was like, the logic holds are ridiculous. And I had people arguing with me, being like, no, it makes sense. It's just last week didn't make sense. I was like, no, none of this makes sense. None of this.
Is that what they tried to explain to you, friend?
Yeah, they tried to explain to me. Oh no, she explained that she came back and she wanted Becky to thank her, and then Becky didn't thank her. And I was like, but she was already upset that Becky took credit for bringing the women's wrestling into prominence. So if you're already upset, why would you help her win another title to make her feel like she is the one that's right? Like, what?
There's no logic, bro. There's no logic.
I do agree with a bunch of the comments saying those things are thangin' when it comes to Trish Stratus.
Did she have one like the triple push? I mean, them things was I need to see her regularly.
That's that.
It was. You're absolutely right. She came out. She looked amazing. I'm just like what broad? How? What is happening?
That's one of them classic Victoria's Secret ultra push-ups.
It is. It's definitely.
You used to work there.
It's
yeah, buddy.
The padding is about this thick.
Yeah.
I hate those.
That's some shit that got your titties up to your neck.
I mean, they was up her neck. I mean, she looked like she almost didn't have a neck. That's just like that. Yes.
But speaking of Becky Lynch, she was in the news this week ahead of Monday's Raw. A new report had some details on when Becky Lynch's WWE contract is up. Fightful Select reported that Lynch's contract is up in June of 2024. Lynch signed a new deal when she returned to WWE in 2021, and her time off from maternity leave has not been factored in terms of extending her contract. Lynch announced that she would not be at tonight's Raw or Monday's Raw, and there were some speculating about her status after she changed her display name on Twitter over the weekend to her real name, which dropped her verification badge. The site reports that she was intended to be at Raw as of last Monday, but sources in the company have said there are no issues to their knowledge between Lynch and the company, and Lynch has been dealing with a minor foot injury that was recently kind of made worse. According to the site's sources, thus far, Lynch and WWE have not started talking about a new deal, and there are several people whose contracts are up next year because WWE signed a lot of the roster to 4-year contracts in 2020, and when they were signing and extending contract deals well before they were expired, which they're not doing now. Finally, the report notes that Lynch has several connections in Hollywood and is represented by CAA, which is one of the more prominent Hollywood acting agency. She has been reportedly involved with a potential role in a Marvel TV show or movie. So, do you guys think come June 2024, Becky Lynch will continue and re-sign with WWE, or may she go out to greener pastures, not being another wrestling promotion, but potentially Hollywood? What do you think, Miss Krssi Love?
Ooh, I think she's a company person. I don't think that she'll full out leave, but just be gone to go do movies or TV shows and things like that, and then come back. She's a company gal. I don't think she'll ever leave. She's even though she's gotten more than her husband, I feel like they're gonna stay there. They're that's in their veins. It's injected. Really, boob tape? You think so, friend? I don't know.
We got a bunch of ladies in the chat saying that it's booby tape.
Okay. I thought it was like the ultra padded ones, like you guys said, because I've seen them in the store because they tried to sell that to me. I don't want that.
She's like,
they
can't control these things. Top Guy JJ, what do you think? You think Becky may go to Hollywood, or she's gonna retain and stay longer with WWE? Being a mother and everything, that's what makes me think about this a little bit more than I usually would. If this was like before she had her child, I would have said, nah, she's definitely re-signing. But now I think that she may think, maybe Hollywood is a better option for her.
Yes and no, right? But I'm gonna go with she's not going she's definitely not leaving the WWE. Like she's a WWE lifer. Like when it comes to that, like she's not going nowhere. And the yes part about her potentially going somewhere is that there is gonna be a point in time that Becky Lynch is going to entertain, other things. Like she's gonna entertain possible acting roles. She's gonna she's an attractive woman. She's known. She's getting more popular, and that's usually what works in Hollywood. And the more she does that, she would become more of an attraction in the WWE. Like Becky Lynch is gonna hit a point where she doesn't need to be on TV every single week, grind every week. Like it's that time, it's coming with that whole 4 horsewomen thing. Like they've been doing this since 2015, 16. So yes, the Harlem Day.
Say hi. They're all saying hi to you, even in the chat. They're saying hi. You have anything to say? Anything to add? Just gonna eat that. Okay.
Is it good? Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Becky Lynch and beautiful dose of the day. It's what everybody needs. Dose of positivity.
Absolutely.
Listen, man. Becky Lynch is, and I think that same time at some point that's gonna happen with Charlotte Flair. That's gonna happen with Bayley. Like they all started running this shit at the same time. Like they're gonna hit that 10. They're gonna hit that 10, 12 year mark, and they're gonna be looking at that number, that age number, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I might want to start doing some other things, but I'm always gonna be a part of the WWE, but just not there every week."
Hey, all I know is that John Cena said that too, and we rarely see him. And when we do see him, he does 5 moves and he out.
He's out, in and out. One and nothing.
John Cena hit that, like he hit right around that. He had like that 13, 15 year mark, and he just started doing other shit. And then it happens. It's life. It's what's going to happen at some point. It could be 2024. It could be 2025. But
I give it to 26.
It's gonna happen.
It's over.
It's gonna happen. Like, their bodies are not gonna be fucking 20-something years old no more. They're gonna be in their fucking upper 30s, approaching 40, and it's not, the bumps ain't gonna feel the same, because those girls were doing fucking house shows, weekly shows, live events, fucking rehearsals, like a lot. Women go through a lot weekly. Because
she's a parent too, so she has to now go home and be a mom. She doesn't get no off time.
She travels with her daughter.
Yep.
And God, and hopefully, if they decide to have baby number 2, it's over. It's over.
It's a wrap.
I'm surprised Charlotte hasn't done that in this time frame, but I'm guessing it's coming.
Hey, she's taking time off now. We don't know what might happen.
In a sense, you feel like that's a Charlotte call. Like Charlotte is probably like, when I get pregnant, that's when my time is going to start dwindling down.
She's gonna be like, put that condom on, Poppy. As previously reported, WWE recently changed the name of their upcoming Saudi Arabia show on May 27th, or as I like to call it, Roman 1000 Day, from King and Queen of the Ring to Night of Champions. The event will take place on May 27th in Jeddah. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the name change was actually a booking decision. As for why, it was noted that WWE WWE will make that clear after Backlash and in the build to the show. So we will know soon. PW Insider Elite had some new reports this week that was confirmed by the Wrestling Observer that WWE and ESPN are in talks about possibly working together for new projects. Ari Emanuel, who runs new WWE Owners Endeavor, previously negotiated UFC's deal with ESPN. It was also noted that another promotion has been in talks with ESPN, but it wasn't AEW. There has been some dialogue, but it was preliminary and likely for ESPN Plus. The company in question has a deal elsewhere at the moment. The sports network has interest in putting wrestling on a streaming service, and WWE is also under contract at the moment as their deal with Peacock runs through 2025. Could we potentially see WWE pay-per-views moving over to ESPN Plus with UFC pay-per-views after their deal with Peacock is done in 2025? Quickly, what do you think,
Yes.
Krssi Love? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, especially if they have that merger with what they just did, the merger with the other company. Oh, it's definitely happening. Damn, that means okay. So then we don't need the cock no more. Then damn, I gotta get
no cock. No cock.
Whoa.
Boys.
Hey, no, we call it the cock here.
No, I'm never calling that. No, hell no. That shit is peacock to me. No. And you know what? That's safe. That's a safe word for Krssi. Ain't a safe word. I'm from a different timeline.
You got the cock. You got the cock on your
yeah. I can say that in terms relatively about myself. But speaking about other terms and other things and other people and other beings, absolutely fucking not. I had to put a pause behind that shit.
Jesus Christ. We got Nate Milton, the good brother, in the chat with us. Thanks for joining us, good brother. He says, what's up, fam? Just dropping by to show some love as we near the end of Devontae History Month. May the adrenaline of our ancestors flow through your veins and your soul. Pizza. Thank you, Nate, for dropping by. Our final WWE show that we missed was WWE NXT. They did 528,000 viewers this week. The show featured Gallus defeating Creed Brothers and Dyad in a fun triple threat match to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. You had Wes Lee beat Charlie Dempsey to retain the North American Championship before he was attacked from behind by Drew Gulak after the match. Dijak defeated Apollo Crews in a good matchup.
Just keep disrespecting Apollo. It's just hard.
Of course. He's just there to job to everybody.
I'm about to say he got demoted and now he got to just keep losing still. Damn.
Everybody wins against Apollo. Roxanne Perez defeated Zoe Stark in a pretty solid bout. Post-match, the NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell offered Roxy a shot at her title, only for Tiffany Stratton to come to make it a triple threat match for next week's Spring Breaking show. And in some NXT news, there have been several NXT names speculated for a call-up in the WWE Draft, including Cameron Grimes, Braun Breaker, Zoe Stark, and most recently Tyler Bate. Now, per PW Insider Elite, we know more names who have been pitched for call-ups in the draft and what shows they've been pitched for. The first name is Cameron Grimes, who has been discussed for a call-up since well before WrestleMania, as well as former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion Zoe Stark. PW Insider doesn't have a specific brand for Cameron Grimes and explicitly says that they are unsure which brand Stark has been pitched for. The other names who have been pitched for call-ups are former NXT Tag Team Champions Elton Prince and Kit Wilson, the Pretty Deadly Tag Team, the former NXT Tag Team Champions and NXT UK Tag Team Champions who have been pitched for spots on Raw, and Ilya Dragunov, who has been they have made pitches for him to be on SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov on SmackDown to face Gunther, put it in my veins. Put in my veins immediately. And Pretty Deadly are set to be a part of next week's NXT Spring Breaking event where they will face Tony D'Angelo and Shannon Stacks Lorenzo in a trunk match. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like the first ever trunk match. I was like, what does that even mean?
It's like the first ever chairs match. Last week we had... Last week we did predictions for New Japan Pro Wrestling Collision weekend, and they had 2 huge shows that our producer was there for, and he was in the front row. He got caught on camera dancing to the Best Friends theme song. First, you had New Japan Pro Wrestling's Capital Collision, which had Aussie Open defeating the Motor City Machine Guns and Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada in a great 3-way matchup to win the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. Yes, Aussie 2 belts. You had David Finlay beat AR Fox in a solid match. Post-match, Finlay introduced Clark Connors as the newest member of the Bullet Club. Tomohiro Ishii defeated El Desperado in a terrific, hard-hitting bout. You also had Juice Robinson versus Fred Rosser, went to a no contest after Juice attacked Rosser in a full Will Smith mode to teach him to keep his wife's name out of his fucking mouth, since Fred Rosser's been talking shit about Tony Storm. Sanada and Yoshinobu Kanemaru of Just Five Guys defeated Los Ingobernables de Japon's Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito. And Zack Sabre Jr. beat Tom Lawler in a tremendous technical wrestling clinic to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship. Then the next night, it was New Japan Pro Wrestling Collision in Philadelphia. Aussie Open again stole the show, defeating Tomohiro Ishii and Leo Rush of Chaos in an excellent main event to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. You had Team Filthy beat TMDK in a great 6-man tag team matchup. Orange Cassidy defeated Gabriel Kidd in Orange Cassidy's New Japan Pro Wrestling debut in a very good matchup to retain the AEW International Championship. And Lance Archer beat Fred Rosser thanks to interference from Juice Robinson. Juice was originally supposed to be a part of this tournament, but got suspended due to his actions at Capital Collision. And Lance Archer advances in the IWGP United States Championship #1 contenders tournament. So it was some really good shows from New Japan Pro Wrestling in Washington, D.C. and in Philadelphia. We got Frantic World, who says NJPW Collision shows was really good. We also got Alan Banky, who says, let's go hard rock. Let's go hard rock. He says hard rock. No. Rock Hard, Juice, Will Smith, Robinson. We got Negro Buck, who says ZSJ versus Lawler was great. Check out our reviews of the Collision shows if you want more in-depth report on that. That's up on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel right now. People showing some love to Aussie Open, who had a great weekend at those Collision shows. And the card for Collision in Philadelphia had to change due to an injury to Hiroshi Tanahashi and TJP.
Man, the injuries just keep everyone's just. It's bad. It's basketball. Everybody's injured now, yo.
Don't matter if it's WWE, AEW, or New Japan. Yep. Tanahashi was hurt during the 3-way matchup for the Strong Openweight Tag Team titles at Capital Collision. TJP had travel issues and wouldn't be at the show. Tanahashi revealed that he suffered a broken rib, and Hiroshi Tanahashi is out of upcoming events in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows due to his injury status. NJPW announced on Wednesday that due to his rib injury that he suffered at Capital Collision, he will not be able to make the upcoming shows that started on Thursday, and Tanahashi's return date has yet to be determined. His next scheduled matchup is for May 21st at New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence in Long Beach, California, where he's scheduled to face Will Ospreay in round 1 of the IWGP United States Championship #1 contenders tournament. And of course, if we're talking about NJPW, we got to talk about Moné, Mercedes Moné, who it was previously reported that her last date with Bushi Road would be at Stardom's All-Star Grand Kingdom, which is tomorrow morning, but that she's negotiating for another show. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Moné denied reports that her deal with NJPW is up soon. On her goal in Japan, she said, and I quote, "The ultimate goal for a lot of professional wrestlers is to make it to WWE. That's what I thought was the big time, but I did that. I wanted to make new history, and the place to do it is here in Japan. Japan has the highest standards for women's wrestling, and I want to set the standard in New Japan. On the rumors her contract is up soon, she said the rumors are so far from the truth. If it's not coming from me or my voice, then how does anyone else know my business? None of it is true unless it is coming from me. It's just a reminder that I'm a conversation starter. On her creative freedom, she says, in the United States, you're told what to do, what to say, and how to say it. Here, I'm creating every single moment. I feel so free. I've never been this confident, and it is significant to me because I'm inspiring people to follow their dreams. I don't take that responsibility lightly. I'm not even in my prime yet. I'm just getting started. I'm finally getting to create the magic I've always wanted to create. My ideas aren't being limited, and I'm not constantly hearing no or that matches are being cut short. I'm not going to hold back. And this follows up from her social media post where she says that she was asking if there's a realtor that she can find a place in Japan, and she was actually going to classes to learn Japanese. So what do you think, Miss Krssi Love, about Mercedes Moné kind of embracing this Japanese wrestling? And it really feels like she's got the wrestling bug again.
I'm about to say, this feels like she's really living her dream. She's doing something that she's happy. She has creative freeness to do whatever she wants, and she can make up these things. Like she said, like when she was here, she was like dumbed down. Her ideas wasn't being pushed, and now she's getting her ideas, and it's showing in like the work she's doing. Like when she was at a press conference, she had the banjo, hilarious.
Mayu sucks. Mayu sucks. Mayu sucks. She really sucks.
Oh, she's just it's little things like that. So it's like giving her this creative like platform to like get better. I don't want to call it Cody effect, but this is what's happening.
No, it's what your coin term here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as Nico Buck says. Mercedes is on track for
hot girl summer. Yes, absolutely, I agree. You're right. That's it. She's about to have that. It's already started. So yes. This is her summer. Yes,
it's a hot girl year for her. Basically,
it's a hot girl year.
It started January 4th. What do you think, Top Guy?
I mean, the thing, and I was thinking about this the entire time. Like you was going over this, Sasha. I mean, whoa, I fucked.
That's her slave name.
Don't say the slave name.
I didn't finish.
You caught yourself. You caught yourself.
Mercedes Moné is by far the youngest of those girls.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like in her early 30s.
She's 31.
Like, she is young still. So she's not approaching 40. She's not at the so her saying that rang some bells. Like she's got some time left.
Yeah.
And the fact that she doesn't have to do like the performance and a grind and all of this touring, like she might have 2-3 matches like every couple of months.
Yep.
This is gonna expand her career astronomically. And she has done it at like a perfect spot. Like still in her prime. She recovered from all of her injuries that she suffered while she was in her early 20s.
Yep.
So she could remember Sasha. Oh, so fuck!
Stop calling her slave name, friend.
No! Listen, I still gotta get used to this shit.
Okay.
Mercedes.
At least you're better than Jimmy. Jimmy just keeps trying to call her that, and I'll be like, no, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip.
Mercedes. So Mercedes was injured a lot in her early years. Yep. A lot. Like she was injured a lot in her early years.
Very much.
Now that she's learned her craft, she's learning like what worked for her and her chemistry. She's been relatively healthy. She hasn't really been getting those big knick-knack injuries that's been keeping her out for months. And now she's building, chemistry with better wrestlers because they're at Stardom. Much better fucking wrestlers. This is gonna expand her career. Like she can do this into her 40s. And she's gonna feel free. And she's gonna feel free. Like this is essentially the Mercedes Moné version of what Cody Rhodes did and bet on herself the way he bet on himself.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, John Moxley, those guys all did it. It's her, yeah.
Doesn't mean she's going back to the WWE. Doesn't mean that, because people's like, oh, that means there's a chance. No,
you remember when we first started talking about this, it was WWE's kind of whole thought process was, oh, she just has to get that out of her system. It's just a phase she's going through. She'll get that out of her system.
Yo, just listen, man. Listen, and you know what? I appreciate you guys in the comments telling me to try to say what to say. I don't listen. I'm gonna figure out my fucking way of saying Mercedes on a free dialogue at some point. Like, this is gonna happen. Not telling me what to say and how to say it. That shit ain't never gonna fucking happen on
money.
I fucked up and I owned it.
Money.
So listen, I'm trying to forget about the slave name forever, and I'm trying to instill, this beautiful era of Mercedes money into my life, and she's been fucking awesome since leaving. So big props to her. I hope, I don't know if it's the same thing gonna work for Trinity, the way it worked for Mercedes.
We should mention that it was reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Bushiroad is not keen on bringing in Trinity because they want to save their spending money. And if they're going to re-sign, Mercedes, they don't know if Trinity is the same type of investment, which I kind of understand. Like, if she wants WWE money, and I don't know if she has that fan base that is willing to travel like Mercedes Monet's fans have. So we shall see.
I don't see any lies. So it's like, again, so you see the way we was talking about Hangman earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
In a sense, like, you're talking the same language when it comes to Trinity.
Yep.
Like, yo, love this girl. But when you see her name on the billboard, are you buying a ticket to that show for her? Probably not.
It's not the same as Mercedes
Monet on that motherfucking ticket, and that image together, that's money.
Yeah.
Let's run through the rest of what we missed, and we'll do quick predictions for Mercedes Moné versus Mayu Iwatani at Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom tomorrow morning. But what we missed also, AAA Triple Mania Monterrey, the first of 3 shows. You had El Hijo del Vikingo defeating Komander, Rich Swann, and AEW Swerve Strickland in an absolutely spectacular 4-way matchup to retain the AAA Mega Championship. You had Mystique Jr. beat Arnice to win a mask versus mask matchup. Arnice had to unmask during the show. You had Dementa Azula and Blue Demon Jr. beat Roosh and LA Park in a wild brawl, while Pentagon Jr. and Alberto El Patron defeated Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis in a good matchup for Roosh and LA Park, as well as Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis to move on to Triple Mania Tijuana to face in the semifinals of the tournament, with the loser of that match having to face each other in either a mask versus hair match or mask versus mask match at the final show for Triple Mania. GCW had 3 shows over the last week. They had a double shot last week with GCW I Can't Feel My Face, which had Masha Slamovich defeat Cole Radrick in a good bout to retain the GCW World Championship. You also had the Injustice Express beat Gringo Loco and Komander in a fun 3-on-2 handicap match. The Rejects defeated Los Mesitos in an ultra-violent main event. Then GCW Red Means Green the next night had Shishihiro Arie beat Tony Deppen in a very good bout. You also had Blake Christian defeat Myron Reed, and the East West Express defeat the Rejects to retain the GCW World Tag Team Championships. And then last night in Atlanta, Georgia, you had GCW Into the Light, which had another spectacular matchup in the main event between El Hijo del Vikingo defeating Komander. These two are just magic together in the ring. Definitely a match worth going out of your way to see. You also had Krssi beat Gringo Loco, Jack Cartwheel, and Arnice. You also had Matt Cardona beat and Steph Delander defeated Los Mesitos. Post-match, Nick Gage came out to challenge Cardona and SDL in a three-way matchup to determine the real deathmatch king and queen. And Speedball Mike Bailey defeated Alex Zane in a fun bout. Some really good shows from GCW, especially last night. Go out of your way to see those. But you also had big events from Impact Wrestling. Last Sunday, you had Impact Rebellion 2023 with Deonna Purrazzo defeating Jordan Grace in a great main event matchup to win the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Steve Macklin beat Kushida in a damn good bout to win the Impact World Championship. Before the match, though, another person that WWE had their eyes on, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis, made his return to the company and confronted Macklin after he attacked Scott D'Amore post-match. Trey Miguel beat Speedball Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham in a awesome three-way matchup to retain the Impact X Division Championship. You also had PCO defeated Eddie Edwards in a very physical last rights matchup, and ABC beat the Motor City Machine Guns in a fun Ultimate X match to retain the Impact World Tag Team Championships. Impact on AXS TV this week had the show featured Steve Macklin with his changing of the guard ceremony after winning the title, which was interrupted by Scott D'Amore after Macklin challenged any Canadian to face him for the Impact World title. But he instead got himself in trouble with PCO, for which he will face at the upcoming Under Siege event. And Time Machine defeated Trey Miguel, Jonathan Gresham, and Speedball Mike Bailey in a great six-man tag team bout on the show. And then finally, you had ROH TV on Honor Club, and the show featured El Hijo del Vikingo once again stealing the show, defeating Gringo Loco in an insane Lucha Libre showcase. You also had Athena murked Heather Reckless in a Proving Grounds matchup. You had Konosuke Takeshita beat Lee Moriarty in a very good technical wrestling bout, and Samoa Joe defeated Colt Cabana to retain the ROH World TV title. Some really good wrestling throughout the week. Definitely Rebellion was a hell of a show. We did a review for that. That's up on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel if you want to go more in depth on what went down on the show. Like, you got Negro Buck in the chat saying Deonna and Jordan really delivered in the main event. They did. And we should bring up, as far as Jordan Grace, Fightful Select reported that Jordan Grace's contract with Impact Wrestling is supposedly up now, and she may be leaving the company. And they also did specify that Jordan Grace, due to her third-party platform, is actually a millionaire. So she's been making good money. So we don't know if Jordan Grace may go to maybe AEW or Ring of Honor or WWE, but that's another big free agent out on the field. What do you think, Krssi? Do you think Jordan Grace might re-sign with Impact, or would she go elsewhere?
No, I think she's going to re-sign with them. Where do you want to go? That's the thing. Like, everyone's rosters are big, but are they doing anything like what they're doing with those girls that are there? So I think you should kind of, go from that.
Yeah, we got Negro Buck saying Rebellion was killer. We got Frantic World with a question: how did Bussy become Thrusty? When it's three, they're Thrusty. When it's three of them, they're Thrusty. When it's just Effie and Allie Cash, is Bussy. When it's three of them with Dark Sheet, is Thrusty. That's the difference. But yes.
Thruple, not thruple. So you put it in the Thrusty.
You get it.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Krssi Love's favorite time of the show, match of the week. I have 5 this week. I'm sorry, Miss Krssi Love.
Come on, you didn't say that at the beginning of the show.
You can give 3. You can give 3. You and Top Guy JJ can fit 3, but I watch a lot of wrestling. I watch a lot of wrestling, so I got to name 5, even with the honorable mention too. Honorable mention to Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace from Impact Rebellion. I thought it was one of the better women's matches in North America this year. Really delivered in the main event, and I was glad they got the main event spot as well. Number 5, I'm going with Vikingo versus Komander from last night's GCW Into the Light show. Just Lucha Libre at its finest. You had number 4, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tom Lawler from New Japan Pro Wrestling Capital Collision. Number 3, Vikingo versus Gringo Loco from ROH TV this week. This was a hell of a showcase for Gringo Loco, and I think he might get a contract with AEW because of it. That's how good the match was. Aussie Open versus Chaos from NJPW's Collision in Philadelphia show with Lio Rush and Tomohiro Ishii versus Davis and Fletcher. That was a fantastic tag team main event. Like I said before, our producer was there live in the front row. And then number 1 this week for me, I'm going with Vikingo versus Komander versus Rich Swann versus Swerve Strickland from the AAA show. Just a awesome 4-way matchup. Vikingo is closely going up the list for the best wrestlers of 2023 because everywhere he goes, he's stealing the show and having the best match on the card. And this week, I have him on my list 3 times. That's why I needed 5 matches because I got to mention all the Vikingo matches that I saw this week. Krssi Love, give us your 3. And of course, sound off in the live chat with your 5 or 3 best matches that you saw this week. Krssi, go ahead.
Oh, okay. 3 is going to be Deonna and Jordan. Number 2 would be Seth and Miz. And then number 1 would be Aussie Open and I can't remember the guys that they faced.
Aussie Open and Lio Rush and Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, that was a great match. Great match. Good choice there by Krssi Love. Top Guy JJ, we know you've only watched a few shows. You could just give us your 3 for the week from the few shows that you did watch.
Wow, that's so I'm like, y'all just need to copy and paste like SP's recommendations because the only 2 actual matches I think I like paid any attention to or just happened to be in the room watching was fucking like Seth and Miz and Gunther in Austin
and Austin, yeah.
Austin Creed.
You're calling him by his real name and shit.
Yes. Xavier Woods, like whatever.
Yes. Honorable mention to that one. That was actually a good thing.
Like I call him Austin Creed more than Xavier Woods because I watch his Up Up Down Down channel a lot. So he never goes by Xavier Woods on the Up Up Down Down channel. He always goes by Austin Creed. So bro, those are the only fucking matches I think I've actually like saw the whole thing too. So I don't cheat. I ain't putting 3 other matches.
Well, you got Annika kind of agrees with you. She got Gunther and Xavier Woods at number 1 here.
That was actually really good. Like I mean, if I saw another match,
that was the best part of SmackDown yesterday, honestly.
Like Gunther, that was actually pretty good. Like they actually had a pretty good back and forth. And that was like
that was at the early 9:00 hour. It was very early still. It was I thought it was gonna be like main eventing, and then they was like, no, they gave it to like the 9:00 the next hour part.
Yeah, very sudden finish. Good match.
We got Negro Buck who says Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo number 1. He's got Aussie Open versus Chaos, ZSJ versus Lawler, Komander versus Jay White from Dynamite. Another one I could have put on my honorable mentions because I love that matchup as well. And ABC versus Machine Guns from Rebellion. We got Alan Banky who says Komander versus Vikingo from GCW last night. Aussie Open versus Machine Guns versus Okada and Tanahashi. Another great matchup from Capital Collision. Steve Macklin versus Kushida, ZSJ versus Lawler, and Seth versus Miz. Seth versus Miz, another one I could put on the honorable mention. There was a lot of great wrestling this week. It was.
Like,
you so happened each show was just not that good. You just had parts of each show that was just like
a list of matches, and then you see the Miz's name in there.
Right.
Just for that. I think that's why a bunch of people will put it there. Dolores agrees with me. The best match he saw was the 4-way at AAA Triple Mania.
Good,
number 2, Grace versus Purrazzo, Aussie Open versus Leo and Ishii, ABC versus Machine Guns, and Gunther versus Woods. So Gunther and Woods getting some love. You ain't far off, Top Guy. Don't worry. Let's end things off with quick predictions for Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom. That's going to be tomorrow morning. It's Stardom's biggest show of the year. We're just going to run through a bunch of these matches and give predictions for the major top 3 title matches on this card. You're going to have the Yokohama Rumble, which is going to be a battle royal with all the women not included in the bigger matches on the night. Then you got tag team action with Fuachan teaming up with Hazuki, her trainer, to face King's Quest, Yatami Hayashita, and Miyu Amasaki. You have Thekla teaming up with Club Venus to face Uedo Tai in an 8-woman tag team matchup. Mei Sakura and Azumi will face Starlight Kid and Mei Sira. This is a battle of one of the best rivalries in Stardom with Starlight Kid and Azumi. Retirement matchup, you're going to see Himeka going one-on-one with her former tag team partner, Micah. You also got the Goddess of Stardom Championship bout. This is their tag team titles. It's going to be 7-Up versus the New Eras. You also got the Artists of Stardom Championship matchup. This one is a dark horse, may be the match of the night, which is going to have Prominence with Suzu Suzuki, who you might remember from that Julia match, Krssi Love. Going to be versus Restart with Kairi, Natsupoi, and Soria Ono. You also got Shuri going one-on-one with Shihiro Hashimoto. And then finally, we got the top 3 matches, big title matches on this card. And we're going to start off with probably the matchup that is going to get everybody to watch this show for the IWGP Women's Championship. Mercedes Moné defending against Mayu Iwatani. Mayu Iwatani, the icon of Stardom, who has won every championship in the promotion except for one, the IWGP Women's Championship. And every time she has come across Mercedes Moné, she has either slapped her in the face or laid her out and made fun of her, except for this morning's press conference where Mayu did get the one-up on Mercedes with the whole Mercedes contract talks about her extending. Could she retain the title, or will Mayu finally win the championship and get the one-up on Mercedes? We'll start with you, Krssi Love. Who you got, Mayu versus Mercedes?
Going Moné.
Going with Moné. Who you got, Top Guy?
Are you serious right now? There's no way Mercedes is losing. What? She's the star of the whole brand right now. There's no way she's
losing. I'm going with Mayu Iwatani, the icon of Stardom, will defeat.
Just remember, he said that here on Tru Heel Heat 222. That's a definite L.
Nope, I'm seeing it. I'm clairvoyant. I have watched Stardom. I know what's going on here. I think Mayu is gonna win, but I think Mercedes is gonna stick around for a while. Wonder of Stardom champ. Well, yeah, Wonder of Stardom Championship. You got Saya Kamitani versus Mina Shirakawa. I know you guys might not be aware of the story, but it's an interesting story. These two women went at it for basically what's really kind of like the Intercontinental title of Stardom, the white belt, the Wonder of Stardom Championship last fall, where Saya did a Phoenix Splash into the face of Mina and broke her nose, she needed dental work. Ooh. She was walking around like a zombie with her head wrapped in white tape for a couple of months, but it created this whole change in her where she cut her hair, she formed her own faction called Club Venus, and basically has been on the road back to the championship here. Now on the biggest show, can she have her moment and win the championship? Or can Saya, who has held the Wonder of Stardom Championship since December 2021, she's the longest reigning champion and she has the most defenses, can she retain, or is Mina going to have her moment? I'm going with Mina Shirakawa here. Krssi Love, who you got, Mina or Saya?
Mina is the champion? No,
Saya's the champion.
Oh, okay. No, Mina. Sorry.
You're going with Mina, new champion? Yep. Top Guy JJ, who you got?
You see, SP, you picked the wrong woman to win the new championship. See what I'm saying? Like, Shorty had the belt for about 1.5 years now. It's time to give that strap up. It's been 18 months. You got to create some new champions. You ain't creating one out of Mercedes expense. So, yeah. So, Mina is going to be the new champion.
We're all going with Mina, the new champion. And then finally, it's the main event of the show. You have Julia, who is the top star, the World of Stardom champion, for going one-on-one with her career rival, Tam Nakano. Tam Nakano and Julia feuded over the Wonder of Stardom championship, the white belt, in 2021, where Tam beat Julia for the championship, and Julia had to shave her head. Then Julia basically went on this run that led her to the top prize in the promotion, the red belt, the World of Stardom Championship. She beat Tam Nakano in the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix to get the shot at Shuri last year in December, and she beat her for the top prize. But now Tam, who feels like she's at the end of her run and may be leading to retirement, wants to win the one title she hasn't claimed in Stardom. She's held every single title except for one, and this feels like kind of the biggest feud in Stardom here. Julia has made Tam bleed at the press conference. Tam cut the hair of Julia on the road to this matchup, despite not wanting to cut her hair when she was in the hair versus hair match back in 2021. Tam has been feeling very frustrated and angry at Julia because Julia has gone nothing but success, even though she won the previous rivalry. Who wins here? Julia versus Tam. Start with you,
wait.
Krssi Love.
I'm guessing Tam is the blonde-haired girl.
No, Julia. I said Julia's the champion. You've seen Julia before.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, you're right. I'm going with Julia.
Love Julia. I'm going with Julia as well. Yeah.
Stay the same. No change.
She just won the title in December. I'm going with Julia. Who you got? Julia versus Tam.
Clean sweep, people. Clean sweep.
We're all going with Julia on this one. Alan Banky even in the chat saying Julia will retain the red belt and continues her road to Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door 2. I don't see it happening at Forbidden Door 2, but I see it possibly happening. But definitely go out of your way to watch this show. It's tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. Eastern time, but you can watch it anytime. It's available on pay-per-view. The link is on Stardom's Twitter page, or, you can come right here on Monday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. Myself, Jay News, and special guest Scott Edwards, who joined us for the preview, will be here on the channel to review the show. Go out of your way to watch our preview that's up on the channel right now if you want more information about all the matches that we just previewed here. But that brings us to a close on another edition of Tru Heel Heat. Krssi Love, Top Guy JJ, I always love when we're back together. I appreciate y'all guys for joining me as always. Krssi Love, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and what you got going on, sis.
So you can follow me every Saturday morning. We do Tru Heel Heat. 11:05 a.m. with my good brothers. Top Guy JJ usually comes in whenever he can, so he'll be at work and he'll peep in real quick. So catch us every Saturday 11:05. Other than that, IG.
That's called lurking to the people.
Lurking. He's a lurker.
Okay, you lurking real one and done sometimes, whatever. Then you can catch me serving Face and Heels. That's on every other Sunday with my tag team partner, Stephanie Hypes. Other than that, you can follow me IG, Twitter, and Facebook. IG is Krssi Love _1. Twitter is Tru Heel Krssi Love. And it's just my plain name. So there.
Got it, your way. Follow Krssi and also the chaperone of the wrestling club. Of course.
Chaperone, yes.
Top Guy JJ, where can they follow you?
Well, on Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ, as well as Twitch whenever I am on there. But I think I'm going to be getting back on there a little bit heavier because I have been falling in love with this new Resident Evil 4 remake game. So I've been crunching whatever hours I could into that after the schedule. But, on here, when that time comes, when I'm contractually obligated to be back on the Tru Heel Heat Network, I will be here. So stay tuned for some time in May for me to be able to make it onto the show. It's going to be a tough one because that's the beautiful Mother's Day weekend month. That's Memorial Weekend month. So figure it out somehow, but we're going to figure it out. And when we get that football popping again, I'll be back more heavy on the Tru Heel Heat Sports channel for sure.
Yes, go over and subscribe over there. Plenty of great content to enjoy here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, but you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Of course, there's also patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Just $3 a month gets you in the door. We got plenty of great content for you to join up on there. You got my Raw report every single week. You got Dark Power up on there, the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship. I'm going to get on Romeo to do predictions for Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom for tomorrow morning. So hopefully everybody was listening and remember our picks, because those are my picks are the correct picks. Remember that. And like I said before, go over and check out our preview for All-Star Grand Queendom from yesterday with Scott Edwards and Jade News, where we broke down all the matches for the card. Get yourself excited for that big event tomorrow morning, and check it out anytime tomorrow as well. But that is all for Tru Heel Heat 222 Saturday nights Punk main event, or main Punk event.
Main Punk event.
For Top Guy JJ, for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 222 Saturday nights main Punk event. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.